Some families look perfect from the outside, but behind their perfect smiles could be dark secrets that will be taken to the grave. Hi everyone, Ken here. Today we are digging up those secrets as we uncover Laurento, the estate of Craig Biddle. Hit that subscribe button and let's explore this house. In 1879, tennis legend Craig Biddle was born into the illustrious Biddle family. His ancestors had been among the first to settle in the New World, establishing themselves in the province of New Jersey back in 1681. As the decades turned into centuries, the family amassed great wealth as they spread out and multiplied. By the time our story takes place, hundreds of the Biddles had become millionaires, with many of them being notable across various industries. From sports to the arts, and from finance to industry, a company merger was only ever a family reunion away. This is the life that Craig was born into, and in 1901, when his grandfather passed away, he inherited $1 million, the modern equivalent of over $37 million. Immediately, he married Philadelphia socialite Laura Whelan, and the two wasted no time starting their family. Still in that same year, he commissioned esteemed architects Peabody and Stearns to design for him a sprawling mansion in Wayne, Pennsylvania, which was paid for separately as a wedding present from his grandparents. It would be the perfect home where he could raise his family in the same luxury that he was accustomed to. Lorento was planned out to be a 113-acre equestrian estate where the 22-year-old Craig could entertain his friends for polo and host lavish parties. It was planned so that the house would sit in the middle of formal gardens and be surrounded by pastures reaching as far as the eye can see. With his horses being a key component of life here, he had luxury stables built to accommodate them. All about the property, spring-fed watering troughs were installed, and parterre gardens were sprinkled about the landscape with marble statues and fountains placed throughout. From the outside looking in, life at Lorento looked perfect. It was a place where the Biddle children ran around playing, while Craig and Laura could be seen with smiles on their faces, dressed in the most fashionable clothes money could buy. And inside, things didn't seem much different. After passing through the vestibule, we arrive in the entrance hall, which spans nearly from one end of the house to the other and is dotted by centuries-old statues and European antiques. Directly across the hall from the vestibule doors is where we find the main hall, a multi-story room wrapped in a neoclassical arcade. The young couple became known as socialites, the family on the outskirts of Philadelphia that all the other families wanted to copy. From the moment you entered the house and were ushered into the reception room by their staff, you knew that old money had been reinvigorated by a new generation. And as you headed into the dining room for formal dinners, you were met with a new take on formal, with colorful murals taking the place of an ornate frieze. But still, the house held on to those key elements that reminded you just how much money was behind the name. And each time you visited, the furniture and art could have been completely refreshed, pending whichever country the couple had just returned from. Yet for as decadent as Lorento may have been, and for all the parties hosted within its halls, there was a darkness brewing in the Biddles. Craig began spending more and more time honing in on his tennis skills, practicing non-stop until he could become a pro. And he did just that, playing in games from Wimbledon to the World Hardcourt Championship at Paris. All the while, whispers of affairs began to drive a wedge between the couple. Laura rebelled in her own way, intentionally flaunting social norms to smear the family name, and only ending up becoming more popular than ever, being seen as an icon instead of a degenerate. By 1917, she gave up on tainting her image and separated from Craig. Around this time, their son Craig Jr. decided he wanted to move to Hollywood and become an actor. Craig Sr. wouldn't have it. His son was to go into real estate, and the idea of working in Hollywood was strictly forbidden. Jr. headed out to California anyway, and Craig only gave his son $500 with a warning that he would never get another dime from the family. While something deeper could have been going on behind the scenes, we may never know, but what we do know is that Laura would not let Craig treat their son that way. She moved out to Los Angeles and rented an apartment where she could provide for her son and help him network. With his mom's help, Jr. landed several roles in big-name productions, but when word got back to Craig, he put his foot down. He went out to Los Angeles to have a word with Laura, and 4 days after his visit, she was found not alive in her apartment and covered in bruises. Initially, police suspected foul play, or possibly something self-inflicted, opening up an investigation. She was loved by the community and had made friends since moving, so the idea of her doing something to herself was ruled out almost immediately. Then poison was suspected, the bruises made no sense, and Craig's visit became suspicious, but he was never named a suspect. After a quick chat with the police, the story changed to sudden heart failure and the investigation was closed. Jr. gave up acting and went into real estate, and within a year, Craig was married again. The illusion of the perfect Biddle family had been unraveled on the national stage, with rumors playing out in the gossip columns. It's hard to say exactly what happened when Craig spoke with the police, but there's a possibility it involved a lot of money. As for Lorento, it was sold out of the family in 1911 before the drama unfolded. It changed hands many times over the years, eventually being demolished around 1980 to make way for a neighborhood. Today, only the entrance gate along Darby Paley Road remains as a subtle clue as to what came before. What did you think about this house and the history? Let me know down below in the comments section. And while you're there, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an exciting episode of This House.